Hey everyone, it is day 2 of my 30-day ideas challenge. So if you caught my video yesterday, that was my day 1, I basically, explained what this little concept is all about, what it is, and why I'm doing it. So the 30-day ideas challenge is essentially where I will come in for 30 days. So after today, there's obviously another 28 days. And it's where I would just basically talk about and share ideas. So whether it's an idea, a download, whether it's, an epiphany, an awareness, a realization, or a story. So anyway, today what I wanted to actually share, Sarah, hey, how are you? I'm here on my public page. I'm not in Reclaiming You. Can you believe? So on day 2, I'm talking about the whole concept of self-sourcing. So Sarah, you probably know what I mean when I say this, but self-sourcing, I know it sort of sounds maybe a little kinky, and I'm not even going there. It's nothing about that. What I'm really talking about is, hey, good to see you too. Most of us, I will say, have a tendency to go outside of ourselves for answers, for solutions, to fix. And what I mean by that is, we're so used to the busyness and the doing and the fixing and the solution orientation kind of mode and way of being and doing things. Self-sourcing, it's quite simple in a lot of ways, and yet it is so hard. And it's funny, that's why my guidance has been coming through so clearly lately sorry, I can feel a bit of hair. I've got like hair everywhere. That's what happens when you have 2 dogs that are really fluffy and shedding all the time. But it sounds so simple. It's just that going inwards, going upwards. But yet, as I said, it is so hard because we're so used to going outside of ourselves. Oh, hang on, I've got a little something here. I've got a little pain here. Let me just go and see what Dr. Google says. Like, we're so used to, let me just go and, ring someone and talk to them about it. Or, as I said, I'll Google it, whatever it might be. But, how often do we actually go inwards and allow ourselves, allow our channel, our wisdom, that part of us that knows the truth and our sacred truth, the medicine that we need, but yet for whatever reason, as I said, we're so used to just going outside. And I mean, I know it's something we're not necessarily taught. We're not really taught how to be intuitive. We're not really taught how to, ask these questions and then just allow the time and the space for, that answer to come through. So true. It's a habit to look outside ourselves for answers. It absolutely is. It is a habit. And it's something that, as I said, society really does encourage because, it's like when we're younger, we go outside of ourselves for our parents' attention or our approval. Same thing when we're at school, we get the teacher's approval, and it's this kind of lifelong pattern that sort of is set up when we're younger. And so it's funny because, as I said, that is the guidance that's coming through so clearly for me. It's like, Belinda, go within, go within, go within. And as I said, I'm resisting for whatever reason in various ways. I mean, you guys know I'm intuitive. I am a channel. I, meditate every day. So it's not that I'm not doing these things. But, I think most of us kind of are quite impatient in a lot of ways. It's like we want the answer, we want the solution now. Like we're in that kind of instant gratification society, that disposable, we want everything now. So to actually sometimes pose a question, and a question, for instance, what are the next steps in my healing? What are the next steps in reaching my ideal client, whatever it might be. It's like we kind of, okay, yep, I'll sit there and let me see. Not getting anything, I'll go and do something. We don't actually realize that, it might come through quite quickly, but sometimes it actually takes time to come through. And it always comes through in various ways, not always as what you're expecting. So sometimes it can just be the lyrics of a song that you're in the car listening to or something, and then all of a sudden certain words really stand out to you, and you're like, if you really actually sit with it, you're like, yeah, actually, hang on a sec, that's exactly what I've been asking. Or maybe it's just, you'll turn on the TV and you hear a conversation, or maybe it's just all of a sudden your partner starts talking to you about something, or a friend, or, it could be anything. But we have to really be kind of open to receiving that guidance, that wisdom, those answers, in very few to wrap it up. But But basically, as I said, that's what I wanted to share on my day 2 of my 30-day ideas challenge, is the whole notion of self-sourcing, and really just to ask you that question that, is it something that you are actively doing, or are you in the energy still of predominantly going outside of yourself? And what I've also realized is if you're in the energy of going outside of yourself, your energy is always going outside rather than your energy going inwards. And a lot of us don't feel like we have a lot of energy, or we don't feel like we have a lot of power, or, people don't tend to really feel what we're about, or, we're not necessarily magnetic because we don't have a lot of energy and power that we're holding because it's all going outside of ourselves. Does that make sense? You're kind of getting where I'm going with this. It's like our energy and attention is going outwards, so we're not holding the energy and the power, so people can't feel us. We're not magnetic, we're not radiant. And the more that we can, self-source and go within for the answers and the clarification and the wisdom, and I'm not saying that there's not a time and a place to have mentors or coaches or, listen to wisdom outside of us, but that shouldn't be the predominant go-to mode, if that makes sense. So as I said, it's kind of something I really challenge you to think about. It's that whole self-sourcing. So, if you're not sure, like your next steps, rather than going to Google or, going and listening to another podcast or, whatever it might be, just actually go within. And, maybe even just before you go to bed, ask the question. And how, like Sarah, I've sort of taught this before. It's like, even just writing down that question in a journal by the side of your bed, and then just allowing maybe something to come through in your dreams. And as soon as you wake up, just start making notes and then look at it symbolically and see, is there truth? Is there medicine there for me? Or as I said, just the next time that, you really do need help with something, maybe just, and obviously we're not talking a situation where, it's like, I really need help here, I'm desperate. It's not that kind of energy. It's more just I'm not too sure about this, go within and just sort of see what comes through. And as I said, don't kind of rush it. Don't sort of have that energy of urgency. Urgency is going to pull you out of your heart. It's going to pull you out of your body. It's going to pull you into the mind and the overthinking and, the ego and the victim. So I'm going to leave you with that. So as I said, just really think about that. How can you really go inwards and upwards and start self-sourcing some of this wisdom for you, the medicine, the sacred medicine, the remedy for you. And that's what I'm finding, as I said, more and more. That's the guidance that I'm given. And every time I keep going outside of myself, I just can't get into the energy of it. It's not right. It's not feeling aligned at the moment. So anyway, as I said, it's something that is really quite simple in so many ways, yet so hard and most of us resist it. So anyway, I will see you tomorrow. As I said, it's probably a little later than yesterday's one, but hey, I'm still doing it. It's my day 2. Sarah, you should do this challenge. Yes, it is a great reminder. You should try and do this challenge too. It's a 30-day great ideas, challenge, or just ideas challenge, but that's essentially what it is. It's like for 30 days, it's just showing up, being visible, and really just sharing, whether it's an idea, whether it's a download, whether it's an epiphany, whether it's an awareness, or whether it's just a story that you'd like to share. So, it's really just helping others. It's sharing some wisdom that's coming through you, sharing an idea, a download, and it's helping you with just speaking your truth and your visibility. So anyway, much love. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go and have a bath. That's what I'm feeling called to do. And I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.